Hey guys, Kit here of Burn One. Once again, we're doing another Weiss Schwarz meta talk because our dear friend Grodd has left us. Or is it more like,
R.I.P.
yeah, poor Grodd. But yeah, joined with Dean and Nico as usual. We're just gonna talk about the ban lists and our feelings about it because we need to get out our feelings because of how devastated we are. The community has to deal with the loss so soon. He was so young.
So soon.
I
Like, been
know.
like, has the set been out a week even? About a week?
About a week, maybe
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
It didn't come out last week, so it came out the week before.
I didn't get to play it at local, so
Oh, that's true.
still,
You played it
yeah.
at our shop challenge though, right?
Yeah, I played at the shop challenge. But I mean, like the week before, like that was the first time I got to really touch the deck outside of like a couple test games.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I guess I got about 12 or 13 games with the package. I guess it was okay.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just kind of jump into the whole thing. The fact that they actually released a ban list here, I'll throw it up on screen really quick. They hit us with
But
this
only
ban
for this
list.
one card.
Yeah, for one card. I'm kind of surprised they went the ban list route. I figured it was going to be eroded, or they were going to say something like, demo decks can only be played as whole demo decks, or something really dumb like that.
I think, um, I think I would have been less upset at this ban list, in all honesty, if they would have like hit Sunshine and like AOT and like Bang Dream while they were at it.
Yeah, it's really weird because like Bushiroad's stance has always, as far as the Western side of the game goes, has always been like we're gonna do everything possible to not have a ban list. They've done things like change card text. They've added cards and removed cards. Some cards don't even exist. Like Booster Haruhi was the one was printed with a
Yeah, one
card
of the
completely,
faded colors
yeah,
is missing.
completely missing. There's just a number completely missing in the set in the English version because they were so afraid
Yeah.
of like printing a card that used to be banned. And then the thing that brings us this ban list is their screw up, I guess, because someone didn't read the cards correctly or anything like that.
Just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it just shows like a really huge lack of oversight over everything. No Q&A, no R&D, no nothing. They just kind
No,
of like just were threw shit together, and then they were like, well, oh, we screwed up, so the only thing we can do is ban it here at this point.
well, like they didn't even give it time to be like a problem. I think that's like the weirdest thing is like had we had like 2 or 3 regionals and we see like 3 to 4 Batman Ninjas in every top 8, be like, that's not cool, right? And then like actually have a ban list because it's like, okay, this is an interaction that we didn't want to have happen, and it's clearly winning, but we didn't get to see that, and I think that's like another big problem.
Yeah, one thing about that though would actually worry me about it if it ever got to that point where you were like seeing like half the top 8 being all one deck. That happened at one point too with Attack on Titan when AOT was released and the power
That
level
doesn't need
jump.
banned.
Yeah, the power level jump is just was so big at the time that literally the world finals was 7 AOT in top 8 and 1 Konosuba, and this was
Oh,
like,
that's fine though.
yeah, you're right. But yeah, but I think either way, I think we kind of mostly all in agreement here. Like the card wasn't necessarily broken, even with the 3-2, right? Or
No.
just no.
No,
Yeah.
because it was like,
I don't think it was a good interaction to have in the game, but it's more of an annoyance than it's actually a wow, this is super oppressive.
yeah, I mean that's what I thought too. Like I played it and I was getting a lot of stock, but at the same time, it's like the only thing I had on my board was this monkey, and like that was it. Like my opponent's board wasn't dying; they were getting just as compressed as me. I played with Stock Soul, and so I was getting a little bit more stock than my opponent. But they're siding with a climax and hitting me for 2s and stuff, and then I'm like siding their boards like for 1. So they're getting to keep better cards on board until I hit 2 to like overplay the Grodd, and then like Batman is such a terrible set. That's like the other thing that's like the problem is Batman is not a good set by today's standards at all. I think it's like 2 to 3 years behind what's acceptable. It's actually 2 years behind is like Konosuba, right?
You think it's worse than Card Captor, right?
I do think it's worse than Cardcaptor. I think it's like as bad as English 2 Love Room. because like the way you get cards is the same, and your end game is even worse. Like your end game is literally worse than two lover. I guess you have a little bit better stuff to do with two, because you have like the 2/1 soul, like Nightwing thing.
Yeah. There's some decent
but-
early plays, whereas Two Lover didn't have early plays that were like efficient or good.
I mean, there's only one. There's the Joker early play.
Yeah.
I guess the two lover is like another set that has like the weird trait lock. So like I think it's about the same level as English two lover, which I have not considered a good deck in like over 2 years. So, I think it's like even if you got like 12 stock because you had this Grodd, the only thing it led into was like triple restander, which. I mean, looking at like the other top ends that like exist in English, that's not very good. Like even getting
by
that
today's
reliable.
standards, what are you triple restanding successfully a lot of the time?
Huh?
You're not triple restanding AOT. Oh, I mean, you
yeah.
might, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, what are you actually going to be triple restanding like successfully? I guess Konosuba and Bang Dream.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can triple restand all those decks. What do you mean? What are you successfully triple restanding against? Like, how do they stop you?
Well, doesn't Batman need to reverse?
No.
No. It's just
I'm thinking of the I'm thinking of the TV one. Never mind.
Yeah. It's I mean, but like triple restand isn't a reliable top end, because I was like finding people either like because they themselves are getting compressed. It's like either 3 is overswinging, or they were like just crashing board, because like at level 2 you have to overplay the Grodds with like other stuff, and then because your top end is restanders, they pivot from like being the one in control to it's actually better, right? Because it's like the end of the game. It's better for them to be crashing board against you and dealing less damage like near the like middle to end of the game, because then your top end is like swing 4, swing 5, and that's effectively double anti-damaging yourself. It's like really sad, because like every other deck gets more mileage off of your own game plan than you do. Like that's actually just what the Grodd combo came down to, was every relevant deck bar ReZero was getting more value off of it than you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, against ReZero too, you already have like really bad value when you're fighting that set. If they just drop a couple pucks in the front row.
Oh yeah. Never mind. If they drop pucks, then you don't even have the game.
Yeah, you're just sad.
Yeah, you play Sadsville Batman.
I don't know. I play like yellow ReZero, so like
Yeah.
I think yellow ReZero's played more like than red in English.
Yeah, I think you see a lot more like blue yellow than you do blue red.
So yeah, I don't
fair to
think
say.
a lot of the English players play the puck walls as like their primary game plan. But if they do, you are sad. You're not wrong.
Yep. So also in the ban list too, it's really interesting that they had to specifically state that the booster version is not affected because both cards have the same name. I think this is the first time something like this has happened, right? I mean, even as far as the Japanese list goes, I don't think I've ever seen cards with the same name. One be restricted and one not be specifically, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I understand. I mean, everyone understands why, right?
Yeah, for obvious reasons. But I mean, why did they choose this route of all routes to go? Like, they worked so hard, like I said before, to not have a ban list, but then they're just gonna like implement an emergency ban list, and then instead of doing something like just changing the name a little bit or something,
like you could say it would change the name to Batman Infiltrator or whatever.
Yeah.
Boom. Problem solved.
Yeah, that's actually what I thought was going to happen. I thought an errata was going to happen, but I guess, yeah, I might. Honestly, they might have took this really hard stance because of so much community like backlash as soon as this was like realized. Because
I think that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
I know a lot of people like emailed Bushiroad, posted in like different rooms and stuff like that in forums where Bushiroad looks at. Replies and stuff, and complaining about this card and asking for clarification from Bushiroad. And so I think they've got so much backlash from it, like more than anything else they've ever done, that they're like, oh, like we really screwed up. We really need to just ban this and like to calm everyone down. I mean, the only other reason like they might have probably went with this. Well, I mean, even if they did the errata route, it would have been fine. But I'm just like players who are learning the game. Probably it feels really bad like running into this, right?
I don't think so, because like the difference is like, so if you're a new player, right? And you play against something like Bang Dream. Like when I was teaching a couple of new players, they got to see Orisa next Soul Wall. And that's literally like you have to go build your deck around like to stop this, right? You have to be playing like specific.
If you're a new player, that's like absolute cancer.
And then the new players, if they say against something like Cone of Soup and they just die from 2-3 or 2-4, like those decks are more like saying it's bad feeling for a new player. The difference is against those decks, you have to tell a new player, oh yeah, there's not much you can do. This just does this. But with Batman, you look them in the eye and you say, there's a mechanic called side attacking. And then they learn about the game and then never lose to it again. Which is like, it's like fine. Because like there's like a learning moment for them. And then this card literally never hurts them again in any way, shape, or form. It's actually better for new players, I think, because it's like they get slapped in the hand once and then that's it.
Yeah, kind of. It's one of those things where once you learn about it, you know, it's no longer a problem ever. But if you don't know about it, the first time you run into it, you just lose, or you know,
I don't really, no, because I when I was playtesting it, one time like the guy that I was playing with just said, you know, I really don't care. This card you're gonna summon sucks, and he just crashed into it. I lost that game. Like I actually just lost that game.
Oh man.
Because it's like cool. I have this dude on board and he wins board. It's no different than playing like a standby deck, right? Like if you're playing like Standby Sal or like Soundless Voice, for instance, it's like it's closer to Soundless Voice, right? Because like your top end kind of, it's not as bad as English Soundless Voice, but it's not the best. It's not like Standby Sal where you get you know, stock swap into like restands and garbage.
Yeah. So the biggest thing, I mean, I think we're all in agreement. Like, I think the ban was a little much, and it kind of sucks. They didn't give it any real time to like see how it would affect everything. But here we are with the ban list in English finally. But the biggest thing that this sets as far as going forward is that like they can no longer use that excuse of we are just trying to not have a ban list in English ever for any reason, because now they've implemented a ban list, so there's no reason they couldn't add or remove cards from the ban list. So yeah, so moving forward, I wonder if they're gonna start hitting sets like Japan does, where we have sets in English like Love Live Sunshine, Bang Dream, that have ban lists in, or I guess Cinderella Girls too, except they are only one set in English.
Nah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, Monogatari also has one, surprisingly.
Oh man.
But
English Monogatari.
But moving forward, I'm wondering if they're going to start looking back to the Japanese ban list and start implementing any of those bans. Oh, Content Collection 2 is one that has ban lists, I believe.
Oh yeah,
I always forget it does. So I'm wondering if they're ever going to look back and start implementing like retroactive bans, basically, that have already been banned in Japan, and they're just going to slowly implement it in English, or what's going on there. Like, are we actually now afraid of, like, are we in the era of being worried that our deck gets too represented by like the majority, that it's going to get hit for no reason? Because
I'd be fine with that.
Sometimes in Japan they do base some bans based on the representation. Not as much as I think like some of the people in the community believe they base it around, but it's definitely something they look at, because they don't like it when like half the people show up with Love Live, even if Love Live isn't the best set, just because everyone owns Love Live and everyone loves Idols in Japan, which is, it's completely different in America here.
Right.
Yeah, but so like you said, Dean, you're not too worried if like they start banning based on representation or what?
I'm like fine with a ban list. I mean, there are like sets that are absolute cancer in this game in English. Like Love Live Sunshine is like one of my most hated sets. I think there's like the counterplay available is too limited and like too overcosted. AOT is problematic. Like, okay, people think this Grodd is bad because I've seen the argument. Grodd is bad for the game because it turns off on reverse decks. It's like, well, actually, they just
Let me
busted the
introduce
board
you
now.
to this little thing called AOT.
AOT says I'm like I've been exploring different like Bang Dream ideas, and I honestly think if it wasn't for AOT, I would 100% play the Sumugi combos, like the Minami combo and Bang Dream.
Mm-hmm.
However, because even today, over 2 years since the set's dropped, it has over 10% representation rate. I am not, and it's even way higher in the top tables. I am not allowed to play an on reverse combo in this game because of a single deck that's like continuously repped at like high percentages. And I mean, like these things are like kind of problematic, like when for extended periods of time. Like maybe like shake up the format a bit, like see some hits in some of these decks, and then see what happens. I think it'd be healthy.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I was actually super surprised back, not last year, but the year before. What is that? Like 2017 Worlds, I believe, or 16 or 17, when there was 7 AOT and 1 Konosuba in top 8. I can't believe like everyone was okay with that at Bushiroad or whatever. They're like, yeah, we don't need to hit this. It's definitely not causing any issues. That literally almost everyone that went to Worlds showed up with AOT. And then I believe you look back at the tournaments, like almost all the winning tournaments had AOT, like even multiple times AOT in the top 4, which is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
AOT itself is just like still represented. It's so high and doesn't let people, like you said, do on reverse combos as well, because in the West, like so many people are on AOT.
Yeah, if you're trying to win a tournament, you are literally not allowed to play an on reverse combo, and I think that's just like it's like disgusting that like 2.5 years later, and that brings me back to the point of Batman Ninja, and like the disgusting like design philosophies behind this set. I think it's absolutely even worse than the ban list, which is saying we literally don't even look at our own cards. We have a 100 card set. We copied a card in the set, literally didn't even know what it was, and just put in this demo deck as this 3/2 healer. Like it felt so absurd to me that I actually thought it was intentional. I thought it was like probing the game in some way, because the rest of Batman Ninja's like double trait locked. So it's like 2 different extra boosters in a single box, and then every like all the top end options are like really overcosted, right? It's like you either play villains and you get this this last shot Sinon that costs 2 more stock than a normal last shot Sinon, because you have to play down a top check X with it and eat up more deck slots, or you play weapons, which says you're not allowed to play a single villain card in your deck because your top end requires a board of full weapons. Like if you have a single villain on your board, you can't use the restand. And like everything, and then like all of your combos are on reverse, which is not acceptable today. Like in a world where AOT is the largest is like one of the largest represented sets in every regional, making a set that literally only has on reverse combos for advantage outside of the demo deck. I mean, because there's the demo deck, there's the Catwoman level 0. We don't count Two-Face, right? Two-Face was clearly just like a bad card they printed, which is fine. I'm fine with good bad cards.
Whoa, you're counting what Catwoman level 0 are you counting? The one that lets you draw one, ditch one?
No.
The Catwoman gains bounce back when it gets front attacked.
That one. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is fine. I mean, it's not good. I kind of wish it was level 1, or something, but it's it's acceptable. And you have like then you have like this growing trend in Japanese with level 2 combos being good, and like I've become a huge fan of it, because like you make the level 0 really good, and then you give such really good level 2 options, so you can like coast through 1 if you want to. But in Batman Ninja, we have like an on attack Bunny Union, which Bunny Union is not the most reliable way to keep hand, so that's an option, but it's not like enough payoff for skipping level 1. So you're kind of just locked into like Shimakaze and like on reverse salvage profile. Like that's your only real options. And I thought, the The nice thing about Vice is everything's a standalone set. You can afford to print something really busted as long as everything else is bad. And maybe that's what they were trying. But the second they hit this and they admitted that like they didn't intend for it to be that way, it turned into they are printing English exclusive sets, which I think is good. I think English needs its own sets, but they are completely like underpowering them. Like they're not paying attention to what's being played. They're not paying attention to how future sets are being made. They're just printing cards and wasting. They're wasting so many slots on things like there's the Exodia combo that's all bad cards. Like, right, there's the villain, Lord Joker thing, and it's like your payoff for playing 5 bad cards is a well, it's 4 bad cards. I think the 1/0 Penguin Castle's decent.
Yeah.
You play down 4 bad cards, and then you pay like it's like is it pay 4 ditch 2 or something? It's like something horrible, right? I have it in front of me. Pay 2 ditch 1. Okay, so it's like kind of cheap, but your payoff is a single burn 4 and a claw kick, and it like takes your entire board and your entire deck. You have the Sunder combo, which is like 5 deck slots and 5 cards in the set.
And it's not even as good as the Gurren Lagann one.
It's every card is just bad in the Sunder combo. It's very except for the level 0 4K is fine.
I mean that's like an average beater that you would see in every other set though. So it's like not even special.
You don't have the 3/2 change. You don't have the 2/1 support that grabs the climax. Instead, you have a 3/2 support that grabs it, or a 3/2 like beater that grabs it. None of the other cards marker to go along with the compression game plan. None of them actually gain power on opponent's turn, so they're all weak and they don't like go into a wall game plan. It's just like you're shoving a bunch of bad cards into your deck. I think the Sunder top end is cool. I don't think it's the best at killing people. I don't think it's the best payoff without like the pieces themselves being good.
Yeah, it's because it just eats so many slots. Because once you dedicate your top into the Sunder combo, your half your deck is the combo now. So like if the pieces aren't good enough to like at least have a decent shell by itself, and then you add tech cards in between, it's not very great. I mean, it's an option if you don't want to go the restanding Batman route, or like I guess technically this deck is more of like the cheaper version of the deck if you want to play Batman. But it's not good.
Yeah, but like back to the point, the problem is like I'm just pointing out these bad cards because the problem is if you as a fan of like Batman are like trying to get into this game, and I mentioned this with like older sets, right? If you as a fan are trying to get in this game, the worst thing that you can do is buy a set that was just released and it be so far behind the power curve. There's like you struggle to maintain a like above like a 40% win rate. Because I don't think Batman can maintain above a 40% win rate against like modern decks. I think you literally have to sack almost every game. And that's a problem. Like that's a problem that they're like producing a set that they like is so far behind the times that you just like probably can't win with it reliably.
Yeah, you know what the worst part is about the set for me is that there are actually a couple spicy cards in the set.
Oh yeah, there are. Like
they could have been really, really good cards if they had other cards that interacted with them very well, or if literally everything wasn't trait locked.
I think the trait lock is the biggest thing affecting the set, to be quite honest.
It makes it 2 extra boosters.
I mean, how often have we seen sets nowadays that are like extremely trait locked outside of like Bushiroad properties where it's like trait locked by name because it's like these 2 girls go together? But
even then, that's usually broken. That's usually like that's usually broken. It's not like, oh boy, you get a top check X now. Well, ReZero like set 2 did that. It's because like ReZero set 1 was so good.
Yeah. I really would have loved to see things that like maybe would have bonded to the 2/0 Joker event because I really like that card. I really think it's a really interesting card to play with. I think Barrels is really dumb card, but it's fun to play with as well. Like you can randomly, sack games by canceling and having your opponent just eat 4, or you could both just lose. Funny. Yeah. Oh yeah,
there's like there's a couple cards that are okay. But okay, if anyone from Bushiroad's listening, like 100% fire or move whoever is like currently doing your English like set design, because it's actually just unhealthy for the game. Like it's going back to like the old days with like Haruhi. Remember when like Haruhi, Ilya,
Oh yeah.
Disgaea,
So
like all of these sets were coming out, and they were releasing like sets that were 2 to 4 years behind the current year at the same time as current sets.
So yeah, it was like unintentionally destroying the community and not being able to build it up. So for those that really don't know the history of English Weiss in America, um, Bushiroad USA, their offices are actually in Southern California. I used to live there a lot and lived actually next to their office originally, and worked with a lot of people who actually now work there, and people who have quit, no longer work with Bushiroad. I was friends with them a lot, and a lot of them taught me the game actually. But one of the worst things that happened, and like when this first happened too, I didn't even realize this could be something that would happen. Is they did a lot of surveys, some online, a lot in person at card stores that already had prominent Japanese communities. We're talking like these places will fire off 25-man locals like easy every Friday or Saturday, because we just had so many Japanese players there before there was a real English scene at all, before there was actually a lot of sets out. So they would give these surveys to people who were already not going to reinvest into the game when English came out, and we were just asking for sets that were hard to get for them in Japanese, like regularly. So things like Hari, he got printed again in English, and like Fairy Tail. Well, to be fair, Fairy Tail is a popular shonen anime, so I can imagine a lot of other people voted for that who weren't very familiar with things in Weiss at the time. But they were like surveying people who clearly was not gonna reinvest into the game in English unless there was like a new set or an exclusive set that they didn't already have in Japanese. And because of that, we got like these old sets like Disgaea and
Which is what brought me.
Yeah, just yeah.
But they were
Funny, yeah.
so far behind the power level that even when I started this game, I quickly gave up on playing Disgaea. Like the first thing I did with this game was I bought 6 boxes of Disgaea, and then after playing like 3 locals, I immediately had to go buy a different deck. So like I stayed around because I stay around, but I think that really hurts your player base. Because most people won't.
Yeah. Yeah, just no one's gonna stay around if they can't. If their favorite set that just came out isn't like good enough to like compete locally, then of course they're not gonna stick around or anything like that, or get bored of the game really quick because the cards seem too broken for other sets because they're playing a set that's like 4 years old, while everyone's playing like current year sets, even though their 4-year-old set just came out.
Yeah, huge problem. And like that's the thing is like I was going around my local card shop and being like, oh yeah, you can play Batman. Like few people were like, oh, I might check it out. And then now I get my hands on these cards and I'm like, if they come into locals with this Batman deck, they are not going to win. Like they're not. Like what's our locals? It's like I guess I play like random garbage. So they might beat me sometimes. But like there's like P5 and other things running around. Batman can't get big enough to reverse a P5 board. And then they have like no other way to maintain hand. Okay, with like clean cuts and like other cards that are just like good at 0. And then like every top end will be better than theirs. I don't know. It's just like it's not healthy.
For sure. So Nico, you have anything you want to add to this? I know Dean's been on a spiel for a while.
Not really. Just it's interesting that they have a ban list as opposed to just an errata, but I'm also not really convinced that they're actually going to do anything with it because I think the time for like big ban list is come and gone.
Really?
So unless they decide to like all of a sudden release like Sunshine set 2, Monogatari set 2.
Yeah, I mean
like,
now
Cinderella
that there's
Girls,
a ban list,
if they want to like finish
those.
off those sets, they can probably release them. But I don't know, man. I guess I just have no faith. I don't think they're gonna do it.
Like I can tell you right now that I would be fine seeing AOT, Bang Dream, Love Life Sunshine, and is there anything else that's like really overly repped right now? Just those, right? I mean, like I've heard Sal, but Sal's just kind of like,
There's people who complain about Konosuba.
oh yeah, Konosuba. Never mind. Yeah, Konosuba. 100% Konosuba. Actually, I think I think if we could have like a format, like not even because these decks are like super ultra problematic, but like just to like shake up the format of it. It shouldn't be like this set comes out, it's good. Oh, don't worry, it's good for 4 years because we'll never touch it, and like people are still playing the same like builds. I think it should be like, like, hey, this set's being played a lot, and we've had a few other sets come out, and there's like not really a reason to play them, so why don't we just have like a choice list or something, like kind of shake up the format.
Yeah.
So I agree that that could be a possibility, but like at the same time, there's plenty of people in the game who only like invest in one deck, right? Just because it's one of those games that advertises it, where you only really need one deck. You don't need to keep up with like most of the.
Do they advertise this game?
You got me there, buddy. Got me there. But you know what I'm saying. It's if friends tell people it's like, hey, your favorite anime's in here, mainly like JP side. It's like, oh, it's only got one booster, but it's still a completely playable deck. Like if they do that here and they say it's like, all right, well AOT, like we're putting in a restriction list.
Would anyone actually care if we had a random AOT restriction list? If we're like, this set has been out for over 2 years, like Yu-Gi-Oh players, which is what I came from, their set is relevant for like 3 months. Their deck is like $900 and is relevant for 3 months. I'm pretty sure when you get a play set for like $350 and like a meta deck for under $400, that if you've had that for 2 years and it randomly gets hit like 2 cards, you just can't play those 2 cards in the same deck. Because that's the thing, is like sets are never banned, right? It's still playable. It's just, it's a little bit worse than it was. So maybe I should look at something else.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
So like AOT, I think you should hit like.
I said before
Mikasa.
Yeah, Mikasa or Eren.
No, not Mikasa or Eren. Mikasa or the Armin back row. Because the hexproof support, I honestly believe, because like Eren's fine, like it's a unique thing. It turns off reverses, but the fact that every single matchup, this entire board is hexproof, means that like that's like okay, like like maybe
it
make it
turns
work.
off Konosuba. It turns off Ursa Wall. It does turn off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, like it's like just be like, hey, look, you don't have your hexproof now, and like it's not like a major hit. Like it's not as big as like Mikasa Eren, right? It doesn't like completely change the deck, but it makes like a lot of matchups that are randomly unfavorable like suddenly like okay, right? Allows like more counterplay. Mm-hmm. So like bans like that is what I'm looking for from the game.
I guess I'll be the negative individual here because I think you have a lot of faith in Bushiroad.
Oh,
especially the English side of Bushiroad.
No, I had faith. I had faith.
Yeah.
I had unjust faith up until this ban. Like this ban list, like shattered too many things I forgave them about, which is why I'm so upset. Because like I ignore the fact that they print cards the wrong color. I ignore the fact that
they print cards missing a counter symbol.
Yeah, they like the misprints in this game are absurd. Like the number that there are. And like the size of the errata page are like kind of absurd. General like card quality. There's been like cases of like people pulling signs that didn't have like foiling on it. So like some of like the print errors in English are absolutely disgusting, and I just ignore it. It's like whatever, like they're like a small, like this is like a small branch of them. It's like whatever. But then suddenly it's just they literally aren't even looking at the card that is, which is something I feared in soccer, right? Like when English exclusive means that you can't have a 2K backup. English exclusive means that all your counters are vanilla counters, and somehow Batman got even shafted worse than Card Captor. Card Captors is like you play it on the board and you give a card 2K power, so it's a backup. Like it's better as an attacker than it is a. It's like a Pucci Mikon. Like it's like a better Pucci Mikon, or it's a backup. And you're like, okay, well, I guess it's not good for a wall based deck, but you know, it's a card, and then it's like you get like Batman Ninja, and you get this shitty 1/0 in the booster pack. There's actually just a 1/0 vanilla counter in the booster pack. Why? This doesn't get printed anymore. And no other set. I don't even know the last time a 1/0 counter was printed, other than that might tell us what current year it is.
Oh man.
Yeah, but like I said, my big concern with that is I don't think Bushiroad would make proper bans. Like, I think, like, if people called for an AOT ban, I know we're picking on AOT a lot, but it's a good set to pick on.
Well, it's a set that's been good for too long.
Yeah. So, like, I fear that if they ban AOT, they would do something crazy like, you can only run one maneuver gear in a deck, and then they would, like, yeah, you know, they would take away something that makes the set unique and kind of, like, what the set's known for. That's what I'm afraid of, and maybe I'm wrong to have that fear, but that's just honestly what I'm fearful of. I don't think... If they're printing sets like Sakura and Batman, you can't really trust them to make a proper ban list, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, look, a long time ago, I said that I wanted, if they released an AOT ban list or restriction list, because after that Worlds where it's 7 AOT and one Konosuba, clearly something's happening here that shouldn't be happening. I always was adamant about choiceless between Aaron and Mikasa. You get the best level 1 game, or you either get the best in game. Those are your choices. And I mean, like, there's still other level 1 games that are really good. Like, there's a 1/0 combo on a gate that gives you a stock and plus
like the Levy
room.
Squad. There's the
I mean, the biggest thing is that when you play AOT, you basically playing Aaron, or you're not playing the deck, right? At least that's what I feel like. And then Mikasa as a top end finisher was very powerful. Like for so long, it's still very powerful as a finisher. So I don't know, but either way, like Bushiroad just needs to get like some real R&D going on, or like literally hire someone to reread every card and make sure cards match properly, because they release sets in English where they accidentally translate traits incorrectly. So one set it's like Boat Girl, and the next set is like Ship Girl, and in like the cards are looking for different traits, but they're both the same trait actually, because in Japanese they are the same trait. So they have to create an errata list saying both those traits are the same thing, and all cards can search for both of those traits. It's actually ridiculous. Like, if I go to a tournament as a new player and I'm like, pick up a card, I'm like, yo, your card doesn't say you can get this card because this says you can only get Ship Girls, and that card has like some different trait that or whatever, just like it creates a lot of confusion, especially for the casual players who are into this game. Because let's be honest, like the people like us right now that are talking, we're like such a small minority of the community. We're such a small portion of it, like probably like 10% or less, probably. Like, only people like us are only going to realize that these interactions are supposed to actually work this way, or actually check the errata list to make sure things are corrected and whatnot. It just looks really bad for the game. Like, Bushiroad as a company for the Western audience has like, it's really sad. They've just never been like on top of their thing. I don't know what's going on, but things really need to change. Otherwise, like, this game will eventually die because of mismanaging. I mean, maybe it lives because like the community is pretty dedicated and anime keeps people in the game, because everyone loves anime in this game, obviously. But yeah, it definitely does suck.
Yeah.
And anything else worth talking about the ban list? We're already like 40 minutes in.
Nothing. I guess we'll see if it leads into any future bans.
Yeah, I'm really interested if they're actually ever going to do anything with this ban list, or it was just kind of like this one-off time. They're like, okay, we're going to introduce this ban list now because of our fuck up. But yeah, I think if that's it, I guess Dean, any last words? Because I know you've been going off for quite a while.
He actually disconnected.
Oh, he did? Dang.
There's a Discord update, so that might have caused it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, because I'm recording, I have Discord, all the notifications disabled, so I didn't even know he disconnected. But I guess I'll say goodbye for Dean. Dean says goodbye. Nico.
Oh wait, there's.
Oh wait, Dean.
I'm
you're back.
finally back. Okay, so what's going on now? What did I miss? You're
Okay,
talking about
basically, I was just saying Bushiroad screws up too much, and it's like hurting the game. And then I'm asking now, do you have any last words about the ban list? Anything else you want to talk about the ban list? Like any implications you think might come from the ban list, whether we get those new sets or not that we never get because they have too big of a ban list in Japan, or what?
I think it'd be bad to release. Like I think that like if you come out now with a lot of those sets, it's like their time is gone. They just like missed the boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, I do want them to just start banning like the ever loving hell out of the format. I would like to see like 4 to 5 different sets on the ban list. And it's not even about me like thinking they're overpowered. I just like a meta like shift. I would like them to just, you know, kind of force the meta to shake up finally. Because that's like the purpose of the ban list, right? It's like why they ban based on representation most of the time.
And yeah, usually that's the reason they ban on representation because they want shakeups. Like a lot of people who only played English Weiss probably aren't aware of this, but the Japanese version of the game, they cut the top 16 in their cut at regionals. On top of cutting the top 16, they take the top 8 undefeated people, and then from the next like 24 top places after top 8 or something, they look at those sets and they pick the sets first that aren't already in the top 16. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, it's so that like
Yeah.
your top cut is as diverse as humanly possible.
Yeah, it like artificially like makes it more diverse, and it kind of
Because
boosts
it's like-
up those sets that have almost no representation. And if you go X and 1, you have a chance to actually get in to the top 16.
So rather than it being based on matchups, it's like if you're a Disgaea player at the regional, your wins count as more than anyone else's because no one else is playing that set.
Yeah. So yeah. So if you go undefeated, you're still gonna make it no matter what. It's the X and 1s that get kind of lotteried in, and you know they do that first, then they go, and then if they can't get any new sets in there, then they work based on I believe their match score or whatever, or their tiebreakers or however they do it from there.
I think that's fine. I think that's like a good system.
Yeah, I think that's really good if they do like top 16s, but I don't think that'll work in a top 8.
Because well, yeah, I mean, like it forces like you as a player to be like, I think this deck is good, but I think this deck is really close, and it makes it a more diverse meta, which is nice.
Yeah. I think I like the diversity stuff going on. Sometimes I don't really like how it like fakes the diversity. Like recently, I don't know. Did I tell you guys? I know I told
Daybreak Illusion?
Nico. Yeah, Daybreak Illusion made top 4
yeah.
in Japan, and everyone was like, "What the hell?"
I mean,
because
that's funny,
they
though,
they went
right?
X
Like-
they went X and 1, and then they got into top 16 because they were the only Daybreak Illusion, and then they won
two more.
They won 2 more matches. They played against DC and something else, and then they lost everything outright after that because they started playing real decks, or not real decks, but like a lot more competitive recent meta decks.
So, I mean, that means they got 4th, right?
Yeah, they got 4th. They legitimately got 4th.
So wait. That means at the end, because how many rounds was the tournament?
I think it's what was it? 4 rounds, cut to top 16 because I think they do a cut from 8 undefeated or something.
Wait. So you're telling me that you're saying because of representation, the guy who went 6-2 at the end of the day with Daybreak Illusion,
he went 6-3 or 4 or something like that because he lost. Or 6-3? Yeah, 6-3 actually.
6-3? I mean, that's still like really good for what that set is.
Oh no, yeah.
So I mean, the set was like a random 2-soul. It's like garbage. like I'm pretty sure like everything that set's like
I think
about
he only
the same
ran
quality
one
as a
two
vanilla.
soul. If I remember
he ran
this
1-2
correctly.
soul.
Yeah, he
it was
played
the
the 2
PR
so you
one.
can play in anything.
Yeah.
He ran like what 4 gates, 3 pants, or 3 book or something, and 1-2 soul.
Does
Yeah.
Daybreak Illusion have pants? I think it might have came
It
out.
doesn't.
Before
It was
pants.
before pants.
Okay, then it was book.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, like I mean that's like a. I mean, isn't that because of diversity rule that deck got slotted into top cut because you know that guy probably played against the worst players in the room, or was like a sack god, which I think is good. I think that's good because it's letting us laugh about it, and like that guy got to have like if that guy's playing Daybreak Illusion, that's probably his favorite anime for some reason. And that guy was like, man, I just like want to play this Daybreak Illusion deck. I just don't care what happens. And like he got to have the time of his life with it. That's good. It's good for the game.
All right. Anything else about the ban list we want to cover or anything like that? I'm gonna take that silence as a no. Or
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Never buy another English exclusive set. I need to push that. Make them actually suffer until they start printing good cards and start caring about their own game. There's no use supporting them until they actually care about their own product.
Man, imagine if all those searchers in Batman and stuff, like...
What searchers?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, all the cards that are trait locked search like Sengoku, as opposed to like weapon or villain.
Oh, it'd be like a halfway decent set.
Yeah, it'd be a nice, probably like, mid-tier 2 set or something, which is fine.
It'd still be like below the power curve, but it would be far less frustrating to me than this 2 EVs that we currently have.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Bushiroad gets their shit together sometime soon. Hopefully. Hey, and you know what? If anyone from Bushiroad is listening, literally there are people in the community who will do your work for free. Like if you just show us stuff and make us sign an NDA or something, and you're like, "Hey, look at this set. What do you think of it?" Like, we'll tell you it's garbage or not and why. Like, you shouldn't always listen to like the people in the community, because I think this ban list happened because of them. But if clearly whoever's running your R&D department, there's no research or development happening. They're just slapping effects on cards and they're like, this is good enough. I remember seeing this back in 2014. It's probably still good today, right, guys? And
yeah, that's a problem.
Then we're getting sets with like Card Captor Sakura that's supposed to be English exclusive, Batman that's supposed to be English exclusive, like sets that like you clearly can see it almost has potential. It almost does.
Well, Card Captor is weird because Card Captor is actually like the more I play with it, the like more fine I think it is. I don't think it'll win a tournament, but like it's got a couple unique gimmicks. It's got a couple cool things it does. I wish it was a little bit stronger.
I wish it had a standby, because clearly they made this combo in there. It's supposed to combo with standby, but like I don't know what happened. I feel like last second they switched it to gate.
Yeah, that's also a problem. That's also a problem, and I really do think the worst thing about Card Captor is the fact that they, like, right after pre-orders ended, announced the Japanese one, and I was like, hey guys, how much you want to bet this level 0 game that's like only a Ricky and a couple runners? How much you want to bet they're going to get clean cuts and a bunch of modern tools? And then what do we see? The first couple reveals, Japanese Card Captors getting like better top ends, it's getting like modern tools at 0, more than just a Ricky.
Oh my god, they have a combo here in the new Japanese one too. So I'm going to derail this for a second. I think it's super good. I want to play Japanese Card Capture just for fun, because I saw this combo. They have a 1-0 climax combo. It's a union combo, but it's on standby. And I was like, this is kind of cool, because you're going to build not 6 stock, but you're going to build a bunch of stock. And it's on a 1065 also, if you resonate with, I think, one of the event cards. I mean, they did so much like spicy stuff with the Japanese version of the list that like I'm just really sad none of that made it to the American audience or the English only audience, because we're definitely missing out on some really cool stuff.
We're missing out on flavor, but from play, which is like I think kind of a problem too, because like we're missing out on flavor, which is a big part of the game. But I think as far as like a set, Card Captor Sakura is it has the unique thing of like it just vomits like early plays on board with like record and stuff, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
Or like efficient like next soul walls, which is I also like decent. The set's actually the same trait, which is something I didn't realize would be a problem ever.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'm sure Bushiroad will print the JP version of Card Captor as like a set 2 or some crap.
Oh, I'm more worried for when they do Japanese Batman Ninja announced in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Sengoku trait on attack searchers.
Man, wait, they didn't announce it yet, right? Question mark. I feel like they already did, and we just kind of missed it.
No.
Hopefully they don't. Well, actually, if they do, we could laugh about how that could have been us. We could have had those cool cards.
Oh my god.
Feels bad, man.
I'm hoping it stays as an English exclusive. I do want them to do more English exclusives. Like, and I want them to actually be exclusives. No more card capture Sakura bullshit. Give me a My Life as Teenage Robot set.
Chain Nut.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh man. Look, when I get my King of the Hill set, then you can get your XJ9 set, all right?
Okay.
Dude, I need my Pocket Sand level 3 Dale Gribble right now.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I guess we should probably wrap this up because I don't think we're kind of starting to ramble on about dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, any final thoughts either of you want to put in or any last shout outs? All right, that silence means nothing. So you guys lost your turn. Yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, or listening, or whatever you're doing. I have actually one shout out. I'm going to screw up this name a lot. But the person from the global community writes articles for this one WordPress website called Weiss Tea Time. They actually shout us out in their newest article, which I think you guys should check it out. It actually goes over the history of English Bushiroad and how they avoided the ban list up until what recently just happened with Harambe. But check it out. It's a really well written article. It was by Taya Gary or Jerry. I don't know how to say that name. The last name is Gerry. I'll go ahead and link it when I upload this video. I'll link it in the little information section below, so you guys can just have a link and go directly to the article to check it out. They write some good stuff there, and yeah, a lot of it's really informative. So check them out. Besides that, though, I guess I'll see you guys in our next video. Later.